While we're talking about this, of course, we've got to remember the pirates. The pirates are interrupting the trading lanes. You must listen to this. I don't know why none of you will listen to this. It's very obvious that this is going to be a major problem in the future. Literally, no one in the room listens to him. I'm sure we're not trying to say that he's the only reasonable, intelligent, and just leader out of the entire group. That would be stupid.
So, unfortunately, with Disparu, we'll begin with the usual racism, sexism, but then it gets into a pretty weird, I'll just say it, homosexual moment, which I did find pretty surprising and is kind of amusing. But let's get through business before pleasure. So, of course, because he's Disparu, he's got to keep feeding the alt-right morons. There's a problem with focusing on women, because, they're women.
Chambers than that. And here we are back again before the entire place got burned to the ground. So we follow the two ladies back to the castle even though they don't do anything entertaining during the entire episode. And we visit her pregnant mother. And remember, pregnancy is a massive deal even though it's a perfectly natural process that we've done for literally thousands of years. No, I'm not joking. The cast literally think that you have a 50-50 chance of making it during this entire period of history. All I'm saying is if that was true, you wouldn't be watching this video now.
I do like how he's misusing language. I don't think we went through the pain of childbirth. Women went through it. How did men go through it? I don't know. As far as whether these numbers are correct, you have to provide this thing called the evidence. Just saying, oh, you won't be here. This can't be true. Okay, that's just an appeal to ignorance. We need actual demographic evidence. Can you give some statistical evidence here? Nah, not gonna do that. Okay, so be it. Then, of course, we slide into what's this black man doing in my Game of Thrones?
It's the idea that this guy has silver hair and it looks ridiculous. Look, it wasn't in the books, but we've changed it because we had to. At least this author's alive, I suppose, and he signed off on it. Look, if you want to destroy the aesthetic nature of your own work, I guess I can't complain if you're still alive. We gave him enough money, he's fine with it, alright? But despite this fact, every single person in the room underestimates the potential threat of...
Okay, so George destroyed the aesthetic nature of his entire works because a black man showed up. Does he not realize there are black people in Game of Thrones? They're in the books. There's quite a lot of non-white characters in the books. I'm guessing you didn't actually read the books. I guess you just saw the show and infer everything in the show was in the box because it mostly had beautiful white people. That's the nature of Game of Thrones. Deal with it. That is not what he constructed. So you're just being ignorant. But then the ignorance takes on the usual fascistic tone, but he adds a certain layer which I did not expect.
Succession, that's why we don't do it. Not only is this a pointless argument, it's literally illogical and doesn't make any sense from a writing perspective. Welcome to why I started despising the show, as well as the boredom. Matt Smith is the only character in the show which has depth and makes sense, and in this, none of this entire bit makes sense at all.
It could destabilize the realm.
The realm? Or this council?
He's the only one making any sense right now. So they bring up the gold cloaks and say,
I do find it amusing the black man suddenly became good. So now black man good because he likes Matt Smith. Matt Smith, yes, please, more Matt Smith. I love Matt Smith. Oh, delicious. Matt Smith. Oh my God, can I see this white penis? I need more of this Matt Smith. Just his white hands, his white face. Everything about him is beautiful. Okay, I think we get the message. You have a thing for Matt Smith. Good for you, and I'm glad you managed to make it through this review without, exploding in an orgasm. But in terms of this weirdo theory, Wilson, we have a monarchy, we have a line of succession. Does he not know that monarchs, yes, sometimes were impotent, so they couldn't pass it on to an heir, whether a male or female? So what did they do? Oh, I guess they just disappeared. They went off to magic fairy tale land. No, or they improvised. They chose other people. It's never been the case that you pass on the power necessarily to a son and or daughter genetically. Now, I want to be careful. I have to double check my history a lot, but George has admitted this. Yes, the books do misrepresent history. The real history is more chaotic. Sometimes monarchs were just invented or leaders were just chosen. It was never really genetic. That's kind of a misrepresentation in a lot of fantasy fiction, which apparently you think is fact for some weird reason.
this bit.
Damon has ambition, yeah, but not for the throne. He lacks the patience for it.
It's like, haha, brother, you underestimate me. Because remember, he was sitting on the throne earlier. I'm sure he wasn't doing anything there. Oh yeah, got this cut which is strangely infected from sitting on the throne. I'm sure nothing's been happening to it.
The gods have yet to make a man who lacks the patience for absolute power.
I mean, you're kind of just grassing on yourself there, aren't you? That's a self-report if ever I've heard one. But this guy is a complete moron. It says, under the circumstances, what we should do is name a successor. Because I'm sure absolutely nothing can go wrong with that. We don't have any reason to change the line of succession, and the actual genuine successor, who should be king, has a 2,000-man strong army, but we should definitely just name somebody else arbitrarily.
Well, despite what you think, actually it's not the case that necessarily giving it to the next person in line, presumably for him, a white man, is the natural good thing to do. I mean, does he not remember the Mad King? The Mad King basically burned down everything. Okay, he was the next in line, but it wasn't a good choice to give him the power. Just because the person should be the next in line doesn't mean you should give them the power. They went through this in Game of Thrones. They had a whole civil war. And apparently you don't even understand the canon of that show. We're not even getting into the books because Joffrey, he wasn't even the legitimate heir. So according to your own logic, they should have searched for the real heir like Gendry and given him the power. Would that have made sense? Would that have been better? To put it mildly, that's very, very unclear. I don't think you know Game of Thrones that well, just even the TV show. You certainly don't know real history, so I guess this is just a weird gay fascist love letter to Matt Smith. Though I'll be fair, I think maybe it's more ideological. He's apparently really into monarchism and fascism. But I guess he can have it both ways and, I don't know, gay out over Matt Smith and just, he's so beautiful. Everything he does, he's so meaningful. But then these women show up and then this black guy, what are they talking? What are they doing? I mean, as long as they talk about Matt Smith, I guess I can tolerate it. Well, I guess so. Meanwhile, the rest of us know this is not the Matt Smith show. There are other characters, other things happen, and yeah, it's a fantasy. You don't take everything here as strictly an empirical fact.
Cry relief for no reason. Instead we get, you're the best of your mother, you could be amazing, you're gonna be a great queen. Oh.
Damon was not made to wear the crown.
There's literally no proof of that. Actually be a worse show for me. I'd rather something be great or be awful. This middle ground, this I'm just going to bore you to tears with just the odd bit to draw you in, is the worst. And that's why I don't know how well this review went. I'm going to cut it together afterwards, but I don't know whether it's entertaining or interesting or whether you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to publish it, and then I'm literally going to wait for you to comment down below and tell me what you think. Do you want me to review the rest? Because I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I'll either do future reviews like this, or I'll just do a live stream and talk about it on there, because that may well go better for a show like this, where...
Don't.
Don't what?
Don't give me hope.